Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyards channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting in the studio and we're getting a little update on our March moon gardening tasks. So it is the 3rd of March. We are just coming out of a new moon, flowing right on into the full moon in the next couple of weeks. And well, this is an exciting time of the year because spring is right on the heels of winter right now, and it's time to get seeding. So many of us have already been doing some winter sowing, seeding, indoors and that kind of thing, but now we are very close and maybe already there in some of our climates to start putting seeds in the garden directly, which is my favorite because I don't have to babysit them other than to watch out for slugs and snails, because this is also the time of the year when you're going to see an abundance of slugs and snails if you have them in your garden. So make sure you have stocked up on your slug bait and whatever traps you like to use, or maybe some handy scissors that can take care of all of your slug problems and snail problems. Making sure that all of your leaf debris is picked up, making sure that anything that slugs and snails like to lay their eggs in, you want to get those cleaned up. So for me, my rose campium, my lamb's ear, any kind of like piles of leaves, all of those things are favorite places for slugs to lay their babies. So I either make sure those perennials are cleaned up and those debris piles are cleaned up, or I put my Sluggo right in those plants. And the really interesting thing about that is the slugs don't tend to eat those plants. They just lay their babies in them because they're nice and thick, right? And then they travel around and eat the plants. And they really, really love to eat all the little baby seedlings. So if you're planting seeds right now, you want to do a little slug prevention as well. Yeah, seeds, they're quick to germinate. Right now is a great time to start sowing your cool season crops. So carrots and beets and turnips and beans and peas. Maybe even if you have a long enough period, maybe even cauliflower and broccoli. Definitely any kind of leafy greens, kale, lettuce, romaine, spinach. Spinach tends to like it a little bit warmer, I think, but Swiss chard, all those delicious leafy greens are great to sow this time of year. And during this time of the moon cycle. So that's going on this week and next week as we move into the full moon on the 13th. Quick germination, just a fantastic time to just keep on putting out those seeds, transplanting things into the garden, getting things rooted in. It's just a really exciting time moving into spring. Spring doesn't come until, the 20th or 21st of March this year, right after the full moon. So if you want to work with the moon while you work with the season, you kind of have to play around a little bit, because the spring equinox will actually happen, let me see. Yeah, it'll happen during the last quarter of the moon going into the new moon. So that is a time when we're really harvesting crops. We're really paying attention to like pruning and fertilizing and that kind of thing, but we're not planting. So if you want to take advantage of using the moon cycle to help you plan your garden and you want to work with the season, really try to get in there in the full moon time where it's right on the cusp of spring equinox, and it's a really great time to seed your garden. That's definitely around the time that I will be planting my peas, my carrots, my beets. those are kind of the only spring crops I'll be doing. I am planting bush beans this year, but I think I'll be waiting until a little bit later in the season. But I have lots of flower crops that are getting seeded and getting ready to be seeded. As a matter of fact, as soon as I'm done with this video, I will be sowing some zinnia seeds for indoor sowing so that they're ready to go out as soon as the ranunculus is done blooming. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. Of course, we'll be back in a couple of weeks and we'll talk about how we can embrace the spring equinox going into the new moon and what that looks like in our garden. So stay tuned for that. And of course, every Monday we focus on gardening by the moon in different ways. So next Monday, maybe we'll have a fun March blooming moon garden flower to look at. We'll also be setting up our moon garden this month. All of our raised beds have been painted and our fence has been reconfigured. So it's an exciting year in the moon garden because it's expanding and we're going to get to plant some new things in there. So make sure you're tuned in on Monday for Monday moon gardening. Until the next time, keep celebrating your life and we'll see you in the next video.